Hi everyone, Angela here. For today's project, I'm using quilting cotton for both the top layer and the lining, my Kai scissors, a rotary cutter, fusible webbing, tailor's chalk, a vanishing ink pen, and a quilting ruler. Sometimes you have a print and even though you have the perfect colored matching thread, it just doesn't look right having it stitched through the fabric. So in this video, I'll show you how you can make placemats and mug rugs or coasters without any visible top stitching. Make sure to watch till the end because I'll show you two different ways of marking. For the lining, I've cut a piece 18 inches wide by 12 inches long. Place the lining onto the right side of the top fabric, leave about 2 inches from the selvage edge and also make sure that it's parallel to it. Carefully chalk around the lining onto the top fabric and then remove the lining. From the chalk lines, measure out 1 inch from it and chalk a line, and then measure out ½ an inch from that one and chalk another line. And then repeat for all the sides. So now you should have 1½ inches marked all around. Now cut on the outer line. With the wrong side up, fold right on that ½ inch chalk mark and press across the edge. Try to be as precise as possible and press it down well. Next, turn it up on that 1 inch chalk mark and press across again. Repeat for all the sides, making sure to press those corners really well. With the corners pressed, make a mark on both sides where the top folds meet and also on the bottom corner. Draw a diagonal line joining that top mark to the corner, then open up the hem and join the other top mark to the corner as well. Now open it up and turn it to the right side, but keep those ½ inch edges still folded over to the back. You can see now there's a 45-degree angle line. From this line, use your quilting ruler to measure out ½ inch and mark out the seam allowance. Then cut away on that line. So when you match the folded edges with right sides together, this will be your ½ inch seam line on the inside. Repeat for all the other corners and your fabric should look like this. Next, take your webbing and place it just on the inside of the folded edge, making sure there's enough webbing past the corner. Then stitch together with an edge stitch. When you get to the end, trim your webbing along that angle, and then turn your webbing over to match the next angle. Continue attaching the webbing like this all around. Turn it over so that right side is up, and then fold the corners matching the top folded edges and also along the short angled edges. You can trim away any excess webbing, so we're going to stitch from that top folded edge right down to that corner. Use a ½ inch seam allowance and back tack at the start and finish. Because we pressed all those fold lines, it's easy to see where the corner is. Then repeat for all the other corners. If you're finding this video helpful, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, and also leave a comment below. So your fabric should look like this now, and we need to just trim away the bottom of each corner. Cut on a 45-degree angle, being careful not to cut the stitching. Next, separate those seams and press open with your fingers, and then just grab that corner with your finger and push it out to the right side. If you need to, use a knitting needle or something pointy to poke the corners out. Double check that those seams stay open. Links for all the tools I use can be found in the description below. Check there isn't any fluff or threads that's going to get caught between the lining. Place the lining on top and then insert all the corners underneath the top fabric. Check that everything is laying nice and flat and that all the seams remain open. Then take your iron and steam press all around the edges. Make sure that the hem is fused well to the lining all around. To show you the second method of marking, I've already cut out the pieces for a mug rug or a coaster. Again, the top piece is 1½ inches bigger than the lining all around. This time turn your top fabric over to the wrong side. We need to turn that bottom edge ½ an inch, so that edge ends up here on the back of the fabric, and that's 1 inch from the outer edge. Use your grid ruler and draw a line across 1 inch from the outer edge. After folding 1/2 inch, we'll be folding another inch, and that'll end up 1.5 inches above that first line. Draw that line above it and then repeat for all the other sides. Fold and bring the edge to that first line and press right across, and then bring the fold to the second line and press across. Repeat for all the other sides and then sew it together exactly the same way. You can also use this method to make tablecloths. You also don't have to have a lining, so with this method you can also hem some clothing, giving you a nice clean finish. Be sure to check out some of my other videos. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, take care and happy sewing.